Welcome to the CRS Data Prospecting. It's just that easy with the MLS Tax Suite. My name is Danielle Longdu, and I work directly for CRS Data, and we'll be guiding you through today's webinar. We will be starting from your MLS system. As you know, you will always access the MLS Tax Suite by going through your MLS system. So let's begin. When you open up your MLS system, I'm going to go directly into our simple search page, or the CRS Data simple search page, by using the link created at the very top of your MLS dashboard. So I'm going to click on the CRS tax link, and I'm going to be directed to the MLS Tax Suite. And as you notice, I did not have to log in. Just as a reminder, we do use the single service logon, which basically means we take your credentials from your MLS and slide you right into the MLS Tax Suite. So now that we are in our simple search page, also known as our home page, let's begin focusing on prospecting. And there's actually two very distinct ways you can prospect from the MLS Tax Suite. Well, one of those ways is going to be from the simple search page, where you see the prospecting tab. Now, when you use the prospecting tab, I want you to keep in mind, this is what we call is wide net prospecting, meaning you don't have a center. You can think about it as taking a fishing net, throwing it over an area to generate that list of properties that you want to market to. And the second way you'll be able to prospect is going to be from a property report. And that is where we are going to start today. So I'm going to scroll down to our recent properties and save property report columns. And we're going to go into a property report and walk through the different ways you can prospect from a property report. If you didn't know, there's actually two different ways you can prospect from a property report. So we're going to go into 1825 Keystone Road. So let's go in to the property report. And once we have landed on the property report, always remember you can email, save as PDF, print. You also have the ability to save the report. As we continue down to the menu ribbon, you've got your property report, your comparables, and then you do have this ability to prospect from this specific report. Now, when you prospect from a property report, think of it as standing in the front yard of this specific property and prospecting from there. So this is a very specific way to prospect because you do have a center. So that's the difference between prospecting from the big tab, which is wide net, no center. And then if you prospect from a property report, you do have a center. So let's take a quick look at what you would see if you click on the prospecting tab from the property report. So I'm going to click on it. And once you are directed to our prospecting page, what you're going to see is your subject property has a pin. And then to the left, you have your search criteria and filters. And then to the right of the map, you will be able to see your results list as you begin to work with the map, or you can also work with the filters. Now, when you are looking at your map, to the right of the map, you've got your map toolbars. The very first tool on your toolbar is your drawing tool. So you can draw a polygon, rectangle, circle, or freehand. You've got the undo button. You've got the ability to center your map. You even have the ability to zoom in with the plus sign, zoom out with the minus sign, and just below that, you can change your map view. But it doesn't stop there. If you want to see the entire map, in the upper left and right hand corners, you're going to see the two arrows. And as you click on the arrows, you will see the map will expand across your entire screen. So I really wanted to show you what it looks like when you prospect from the property report menu ribbon. We're actually going to go back to the property report and we're going to discuss the second way you can prospect using the property report. So I'm going to click on property search and we're going to go back into our 1825 Keystone Road property report. And now the second way you can prospect is actually going to be from the property report larger map. So we're going to locate the smaller map on the property report. And then just underneath the smaller map, you've got this view larger map option. So let's go ahead and take a look at view larger map. And once the larger map appears, we're actually going to draw our attention to the right-hand side toolbar. And now we're going to take a look at the options you have when it comes to the property report map toolbar. So at the top, you have a plus sign, which would zoom you in. You've got the minus sign, which would zoom you out. You've got your directional. You've got your map gear, where we've got road, aerial, bird's eye, and then street side is a 360-degree tour. So it's very similar to Google Maps. You've got your square, where you can turn on and off the dimensions of your subject property, and that also includes the shading. You've got your recentering button, your magnifying glass, which is your drawing tool, and then you have your ruler, where you've got parcel all the way down to area. And then from there, you also have your printer icon, where you can print, email, save, or copy. So really, let's discuss how you can prospect using this map. And it could just be where you've moved into the neighborhood and you just want to introduce yourself to your neighbors. Or maybe you just listed and sold this property, just a couple of examples. And how you will begin is you're going to go to your map toolbar, hover over the magnifying glass, and locate your drawing tool. We got polygon, rectangle, radius, and freehand. I'm going to select polygon. And when you are using the polygon, just select the property you want to start with. So on the left-hand side of my screen, you're going to see a purple circle appear, and then you're going to begin to draw your lines. Left click will end your line. And also keep in mind that as you are drawing your shape, even if the line barely touches a property, it's still going to include it in your shape. Now, to close your shape or the polygon, you're going to locate the purple circle, click on it, and you're going to know that you've closed your shape when the include or delete box appears. And do you want to include or delete the shape? So you've got two options here. We're going to go ahead and click on include selection. And once I do that, you're going to get a search complete box where you've got 422 results. And we give you options. Do you want to go to your search results page, or do you want to go to prospecting? We're going to go ahead and go to prospecting so we can see what it would look like. So in the center of my screen, you're going to see my shape that I had drawn on our property report larger map. To the left, you're going to see your criteria and filters. And then to the right side of my screen, you will see your results list with the options to create mailing labels or export into a CSV. We are going to run through a very quick example here. And what I'm looking for here is the ability to remove all active listings and also to remove any recent sales. To do that, we're actually going to use our filters. So keep in mind, the map and the filters work together. So as I begin to utilize the filters, you're going to see the map update where all of those results are located within my shape. So we're going to go to the left-hand side. We're going to go down to MLS listings, open it up. We're going to find remove all active listings. So I'm going to check remove all active listings. And then we're going to go ahead and update our list. So we're at 422. My list now is 418. As I said, we also want to remove recent sales. So we're going to find recent sales options. And this will give you the ability to remove sales from 0 to 18 months. We're going to go ahead and slide our circle all the way to 18 months. And now, as you see, my map has updated. And don't forget, when you see those single blue markers on the map, you can hover over to get this little snippet of information. And then to the far right, we've got our properties found. We've got the ability to create mailing labels. We can go ahead and export into a CSV. Got your legend. And if you hover over the question mark, you'll see that the legend correlates with the MLS listing icons. Next to that, it's going to show you how many exports you have remaining. And 5,000 really kind of equates to 5,000 properties per month. And every first of the month, you will be refreshed with 5,000. And then below that, you have your results list. So I really wanted to show you how you can use your map and your filters. What we're going to do now is actually go back to the property report. We're going to go ahead and delete our shape. And anytime you want to delete your shape, you're going to locate the shape acreage or square mileage, just depending on how big the shape is. So I'm going to go ahead and locate my shape acreage, and it's 300.29. And to delete the shape, I just hover over, and I'm going to get my polygon search box, and I can go ahead and click delete. And now my shape has been deleted. All right, we're going to go ahead and scroll back up to the top of our map page. And we are going to go back to the property report. Now we're going to move on to our second distinct option of prospecting. And that happens to be our prospecting tab. And when you prospect from the tab, you are wide net prospecting. You do not have a center. So let's go ahead and take a look at prospecting. Wide net. All right, once we are dropped at our prospecting page, again, left side, you've got your criteria, you've got your map, and then on the far right, you're going to see your results page when you either begin to draw shapes on your map or when you start to enter filters. So let's talk about our criteria and filters, kind of give you a little bit more in depth of what the filters can do. So we're going to go over to the left-hand side, and here you've got this ability to search up to 4 counties at once, 1 to 4. Then as we scroll down, you're going to see your search box, and you can search by owner name, address, subdivision, or municipality. And all you have to do is just start to type. So this search box will act very similar to your simple search box, but it does have some distinct differences. So we're going to just go ahead and type in lake in our search box. And again, you're going to see that drop-down menu. And as we use the scroll bar next to owner's name, view more, you're going to see your options for owner's names. You're going to see your street address, view more. And then you're going to go to subdivision, view more. So we can click on view more. Or we can go back to full options. Now there is a distinct difference here. You can run a search with starts with lake, which is a simple search, or you can run a search for contains, and that's going to be our wildcard search. And here's the thing I want you guys to keep in mind when you are working with this particular search box is you can enter multiples. So I'm going to go ahead and select starts with, and I can go ahead and begin to add multiples here. Now, here's the thing. As I'm adding additional criteria, you're going to see the map light up where those properties are located. And then on the far right, you're going to see how many properties were found. So remember, you can add multiples to this search box. You also have the ability to clear your criteria. So we're going to go ahead and clear the criteria. Not only do you have the ability to clear your criteria, you also have this ability to save your criteria. So maybe every year you run a list. Maybe it's for the holidays, or maybe it's for their anniversary when they purchase their home, and so on. You know you're going to run this list more than once. So you can save your search criteria. And then to the left, you'll be able to find your saved criteria. And just as a tip, you can name your saved criteria anything you would like. It's up to you. All right. Let's continue down the page. Let's talk about your filters. What can you search by? Well, we've got boundaries. And within boundaries, you have criteria that you can search by. You've got zip codes, census block, and tract. Well, let's take a look at zip codes. So I'm going to turn on zip codes. Two things are going to happen. You're going to see a list of zip codes below. Then you're going to look at your map and you're going to see the boundaries for zip codes. And as I hover over each boundary, you're going to see the zip code associated with that boundary. And here's a tip. You can select as many zip codes as you want. You are not limited to just one. Now, if you use your map, I want you to draw your attention back to your zip code list, and you will see they are automatically selected in your list. All right, we're going to go ahead down to our clear selection, and we're going to collapse our boundaries, and we're going to move on to school zones. Now, with school zones, we'll give you elementary, middle school, and high school. These are your public schools, and they work very similar to zip codes. I'm going to turn on high school. And what you're going to see is the public school boundaries are outlined on the map. And underneath the school zone filter, you're going to see the schools listed. And again, you can select as many as you need to. Maybe you have a client that is looking to live in a very specific high school zone. All right, we'll go ahead and collapse school zones. You've got your MLS listings. And what you need to know here is this. If you select for sale, sold, sale pending, or sale contingent, we will include those listings in your results list. And as you saw in the prior example, you also have this ability to remove all active listings. So you've got an include and an exclude option here. We've got the owner types. You can select as many as you want. Ownership duration. Maybe you're looking for someone that owns a 2-story, and maybe they're looking to downsize to a 1-story. You can put the ownership duration here. You've got your appraised value. You've got your property types, where you can look at residential, commercial, and so on. Recent sales, as you saw in the prior example, we'll go back 18 months and remove those particular properties that were recently sold back 18 months. Last sales date, last sales price. You've got FEMA flood zones. And one thing with FEMA flood zones, as you see, I turned on the flood zones and you'll see the flood zone layers appear on the map. Well, this also is an include or exclude option. So if we wanted to exclude properties that are high risk of flood, we can select high risk and exclude. So that will now exclude all properties that are considered to be high risk of flood. So remember that. You can do include or exclude. Turn those off. Mortgage age. Maybe you're looking for someone that has equity in their property. You can look at cash buyers. We've got land use. We've got improvement type. We've got total building square feet, acreage. Maybe you're looking for vacant land only, and then also year built. So now that you've seen the filters, let's go ahead and run through an example. So I'm going to scroll back up. We're going to use our boundaries. So I'm going to open it up. We're going to click on boundaries, and we're going to look at zip codes. So I'm going to go ahead and just select some zip codes. And again, you can select multiples. And we're going to go ahead and click on update. So the map's going to update, and so is a results list. So there's over 5,500 results. And we're going to go back up. We're going to go ahead and use our MLS listings, and we're going to exclude active listings. So I'm going to update. And my map and my results list will also update. We're going to look at owner type, and we're going to look for owner occupied. We're going to update. So it's going to exclude owner absentee owners. We've got ownership duration. We're going to go down to property type because we really haven't selected property type. So we might have some commercial properties in here. So I'm going to go ahead and type in residential. We'll begin to, and then you'll see the drop-down menu, select residential. And it would automatically update. We're going to go ahead and remove recent sales from the last 18 months. And we're still over 5,500. We are going to exclude high-risk properties from our list. Client doesn't want to live in a property that could flood. And as we continue down, we've got cash buyers. We're not really looking for that, but we are looking for a very specific total building square feet. We're looking for 2,500 to 3,500. And now we are down to 3,341 properties. And we're going to look at year built. And we're looking for anything that was built after or from 2005 and up. And now we've got 392 properties. Again, when you're looking at your map, don't forget to hover over those single markers. They will provide you with additional data. Now, just as a side note, when you are looking at your map and you see blue markers with a number, all this indicates is we are too zoomed out to see each individual blue marker. To resolve this issue, all you have to do is start to zoom in. Go ahead and use my map toolbar, and you will begin to start to see the individual blue markers. So that's all the blue markers with numbers really means. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our properties found. So we've got 392, and we've got some options here. We can create labels or export. Let's go ahead and take a look at export. So click on export. You're going to see a window up here. And in the upper right-hand corner, you've got some options. You can go ahead and just export into a CSV. Or maybe you want to determine the columns of information you want to export. You can go to Edit Fields. If you click on Edit Fields, as we look at our columns, there are 58 columns here. You can select them all, as you see on my screen, or we can pick and choose. And as you go through, you can go ahead and pick and choose the ones you want to export. In the bottom right-hand corner, you can go ahead and export. All right, let's go back up. We're going to X out of our Edit Fields option. We're going to remove exact duplicates. You can continue to refine your list by using the ability to check next to the properties you want to remove and then selecting remove. Then you're going to see status. Status correlates with your MLS listing icons. Then you've got your name, owner, address, and then property. But as you see, I'm hovering over each one of the columns. And if you want to sort your list, maybe you want to go from A to Z in terms of owner's last name, all you have to do is left click on the column header, and we will automatically alphabetize your list by owner's last name. All right, let's go ahead and X out of our export option, and let's talk about create labels. So once you click on create labels, you're going to see a box up here. And one thing you want to know about our create labels is you will see some defaults checked. For example, under refine records, we're going to skip records with no zip +4, or remove exact duplicates. You can uncheck those. They're just defaults. Well, maybe you want to sort your list, and you can sort it by zip code and address, or owner's name. It's really up to you. As I continue down, you've got this ability to select the addressee as displayed as. You want to do first name first or last name first. You can also select the address used. We are defaulted to the owner's address, but you can select the property's address. And again, we can uncheck some of the defaults. As we continue down, you're going to see the area label types. And as we continue down, you can click the starting label for your print. And as we continue down, you're going to select your document format, whether you're using Word document or PDF, and then go ahead and click Create Labels. And I'll show you what those labels look like so you get an idea. So once you have your labels opened, your first sheet will start on the label that you had chosen, and then your second sheet will start on label 1. All right, let's go ahead and X out of our label sheet. I'm going to go ahead and X out of our label options. I'm going to go ahead and clear our criteria, and we're going to go back to the property search. One thing I do want to point out and leave you with is down at the bottom of your page, you've got this contact us. You do have end user support. So if you do have questions about prospecting or any other aspect of the MLS Tax Suite, feel free to give us a call, 800 extension 3, or get help at crssdata.com. Thank you so much for listening to our prospecting. It's just that easy with the MLS Tax Suite. Thank you so much. Bye for now.